Hey guys, how you doing? Just want to talk about a few little things today. One or two of them is how we can sometimes get stuck on the wrong pathway, and sometimes how we can just shift ourselves and the way that we do in something to actually help that to actually, how would we put it? Well, really, it's shifting a viewpoint of what we're capable of and what we think we're not capable of. A lot of the time in life, we seem to have a few basic rules. If any of us have seen the film The Secret or The Laws of Attraction, I'm going to talking a little bit about this and how basically we get stuck because we think that the law of attraction is about attracting a Ferrari or a Rolls Royce or a massive house or something. But what it's actually about is about attracting what we really need rather than what we want. So what we need and what we want are two different things. We might want to have £1 million, but how much do we really need to survive? And some of us might joke of 10 million. You know, really, most people which are abundant, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have a lot of wealth. It means that they're abundant and they're happy with what they've got, and they're abundant and they're happy with the life they've got. So a little bit of this would be just to think, what have I got in my life at the moment that I can class as abundance? Well, if you think about it, if you were really living in true poverty, you'd be struggling to get food, you'd be struggling to get water, you'd be struggling to have a roof over your head, you'd be struggling to have clothes on your back, and you will be struggling to have sanitation, to be clean, to have a level of cleanliness on yourself and in your life. If you've got these 5 things, you have abundance. That's everything that you need to survive. And if you think about everything up until this point in your life, you've had all of that and more. So you've been able to not just do those things, but go out for meals. You've been able to not just do those things, but sometimes buy drinks, buy alcohol, buy luxury food. Isn't that abundance? Isn't that a way of looking at life? Isn't that abundance, really? We seem to think that we've got to have, a champagne cocktail. Some people champagne cocaine. Some people champagne lobster lifestyle before we're going to be happy. Well, let me tell you, I was in a really wealthy relationship once, and those things were amazing. And yes, I had a great time. But they didn't really give me subsistence. Subsistence is now where I'm at now in my life. Subsistence is having some grounding and having some compassion and love and openness towards people and forgiveness, non-judgment, and trying to just, be kind and be realistic with each other. So if we are going to really move forward in our lives, the first thing we need to do is take account of where we are right now, what we have right now. And while I was talking about perception in the other video, what that really means, so we can perceive that we don't have enough. We can perceive that we're not successful. We can perceive that we don't have a lot of things. And yet, on the other hand, we have a lot. So I just say something to you really quickly and easily. Think about this, yeah? I have a very good friend called Steve, and he went to school with me. And he went through a really tough relationship at the beginning, raised his son on his own, which I'm really proud of him, up until he was 20 odd years old. His son now is out of the house, he's got his own life. Then he met somebody which is amazing, got married, now he has 3 kids. And we were best friends all the way through school. And his life, he said he's never been so happy. His life is full of abundance at the moment. He's abundant with happiness. He's abundant. He's married this girl. He's abundant. He's got kids in his life. He's got an older son, which is amazing, Nathan. And all of these people just are there, and we've all got abundance, right? So he's a really good example for me. Now, some people would say, is Stephen a multimillionaire? No, he's not. Stephen's not massively wealthy. He's got a job. He's not got loads of money. He's got enough to survive. He's got enough to pay for his family. He might struggle a little bit some days, but he's okay, you know. But the most important thing, his abundance is his family. His abundance is the wealth he has, is his children, the love he has in his life, his older son, and the people like me and other people which are in his life, which are his friends. That's his abundance. That's his enrichment. And that makes him really happy. Same for me. I've got my dogs. I've got my house. I've got a roof over my head. I've got an amazing wife. I'm really making massive changes in my life. I might have just lost my job. I might have just kind of been through a pretty tough patch. I had to have a fill-in. It cost me nearly 280 quid to have my tooth filled. And at the moment, I don't have that 280 quid to be throwing about. But I think to myself, I'm happy because I got something really worthwhile for it. Now my mouth is fixed. I don't have to worry about my teeth for a while. There's nothing really wrong with them now. That's done. And I'm abundant because I've now got a great tooth. I'm not in pain. I could be in a poor country where I couldn't get to a dentist and somebody be pulling it out with a piece of string attached to a door handle. Do you know what I mean? With no anaesthetic. So I'm lucky I've saved my foot. Yeah, it cost me 280 quid, but I'm abundant because I've got something for it. And how great is that I managed to get my tooth sorted? I had just enough money to do it, and I've had to cut back on other things now. So I'm abundant because I've got food in the fridge, and I've got a vehicle on the road outside which I can't drive places. None of my dogs are sick. They're all healthy. My wife is healthy. I'm healthy. My wealth is my health at the moment. I'm abundant. So abundance comes from how we view our life, how we view the basic simplistic things. If you think of people in India, they say some of the poorest people in the world are the happiest because you know what? They're grateful for everything. They're grateful that they've got food. They're grateful that their roof is not leaking. They're grateful that they've got enough money to pay the electric. They're grateful that they've spoken to their mum this week because the telephone lines have not been working. They might not have a mobile phone. They might be grateful because they've just managed to get one. Now their mum can phone them on a regular basis and they can phone their mum. They're abundant because they're happy just for these little things. And yet we in the Western world have been so accustomed to having so much that really we're quite spoilt. And we're always complaining about what we don't have, and we're always wishing we had more. But what we were wishing for 5 years ago, we've most probably got in our lives right now. Some people, the abundance comes from just having love and meeting somebody to love. I wish I could have somebody to love, and that's their entire life and their focus. And when they meet somebody to love, a couple of years down the line, they're unhappy again about something else. Because it's not the subject matter, it's not the thing, it's the person. So we have to learn to be grateful. When you get something, it's so hard to be grateful for what you've got because you're always looking for the thing to get. And when you get that, like at Christmas time, when everybody buys loads of stuff for each other, we tend to think that, I'm going to be happy, but I'm happier giving a gift than most of the time receiving one. And it's nice to get gifts, and I really appreciate every single gift. The ones I don't expect, and the things people have done for me this Christmas, and it's been, overwhelming, and it's been amazing. I've had some amazing gifts. That's abundant to me. So think about your life and simplify it a little bit, and think that but all of the stuff you've got maybe a nice place to live, food in your stomach, good family still alive, and that's your abundance. So let's start be grateful for the small things in our life, yeah? And think of where we were 5 years ago and what we were wishing for, and think now where we are, and then start to think of in the next 5 years where we want to be, and we can start working on that as well. So have an amazing Saturday. And let's think about abundance. Love you guys. This is Namaste Nick. or just Nick if you want to call me, signing out, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Thank you.